All right, hi. I'm Ricky from Rev Consultants. So I help subcontractors win more tenders at their target profit in 12 weeks or less, even if they're time poor, overwhelmed, and don't know where to start. So my goal is basically to make this process as simple and successful as possible, so that you can win those bigger contracts with less stress. I'm here on a regular basis, so jump on and ask me a question, or feel free to DM me anything you feel like would be good to cover. I'd be more than happy to. This is your opportunity to ask me anything. Okay, so this week's topic for discussion is the third in a series that I'm doing on pricing and getting pricing right, with the focus this week on labor and plant. So to start with, labor and plant should be calculated with the rates that you actually pay for your labor and plant. So if you pay your labor on a rate, i.e. on a meter squared, which a lot of brickies and tilers do, you should calculate your labor on that basis. And the same goes for if you pay your labor on a day or hourly rate, you should calculate your labor on that in your estimate. And when you're pricing labor, the rate that you should use should be inclusive of all costs to the labor. So it's the end cost. So it should include things like national insurance and taxes, training that might be applicable, holiday pay, public holiday allowances, etc., i.e. anything, i.e. the cost of labor to you, the end cost, not the direct hourly or daily rate that you pay. It should be clear to you how much you pay for your labor, and if it's not, you need to get clear on it. So when it comes time to pricing plant, your rate should include the actual cost from the supplier, particularly if you're hiring, i.e. get a quote, and the cost that it will actually cost you. It's also going to include your fuel and maintenance and delivery and collection and the like. So the way that we price labor and plant, and the way that we strongly encourage you to price labor and plant, is to program out the job and to price your labor and plant from the program. So let's take a look at a quick example of this. Let me share my screen. Okay, so my initial task for pricing my labor and plant, as I just talked about, is programming out the job. So initially we want to take a look at the drawings and through the tender, go to the site visit if applicable, and understand the job, understand how you'll build it, and we're going to program it out. So as we can see here, I've started here. We've got contract award and basically 2 weeks before we start work on site. And I'm going to resource my program as well and program out the job. And this is just going to be a quick example, but I'm going to say 3 people for the first week. Then we're going to have the next activity. We've got 4 people for 2 weeks. And we just need 2 for a week and 2 for a week. So I've programmed out my job based on what I know needs to happen. Then let's have a look at the estimate. Okay, so initially, I've got in here my cost of actual labor. So these are the actual costs of the different crew sizes. So for a crew of 4, my actual cost for this job would be 2 laborers and 2 skilled, and what I pay for them is $150 per day or $250 per day respectively, giving me a total daily cost of $800, and so on for the different crew sizes that you require for that job. In a similar fashion for the plant, I've worked out what I actually need, and I've got actual quotes from suppliers that for this plant. These are quotes from hire companies, and I've also got my estimated fuel spend, if applicable, and delivery and collection. So my rates are reflective of actual rates for this actual project that I'll pay. So onto pricing labor then. So again, as I mentioned before, if you work off a rate to pay your labor, so you have 1,000 square meters and it costs you £4 per meter squared to pay your labor, like for a tiler, for example, or a brickie, then you should calculate your labor. So on a daily cost. So we're gonna have a look back at the program, and as you can see, we've got 3 for a week, 4 for 2, 2, 2. So my labor is going to be calculated from the program, which is 3 for a week, 4 for 2 weeks, 2 for a week for the different elements. Now, I have an automated pricing template that makes it a bit easier, but you can see the point here. The labor cost for 3 people for a week, based on my rates, is 3,250. The labor cost for 4 people for 2 weeks is 8,000, etc., etc. And what I'm doing is based on the program and my actual crews and my actual crew rates. I'm expecting labor to cost 15,250. Now the same goes for plant. So for this activity, I expect there to be a MUP and delivery and collection. It goes for a week. So I'm building up my plant costs from the program, a week for this activity, and the actual rates. And I've done it for the rest of the activities here. But basically, I'm coming to an expected plant cost for this job, which is applicable to the program, of £3,075. Okay, that's my quick example. Okay. So basically, in summary, when you submit a tender, you should be clear on the price that you're expecting to pay for your labor and plant, the actual cost to you for the job, from the actual rate that you get charged and the expected program, like the example that I just did for you. Taking the time to calculate this position on every job is going to give you clarity, and it's going to help with your decision making, as well as ensuring that you're setting up for a successful and profitable project. Okay, so that's it for today. Stay tuned for my next live. My next live is going to be the next in the series on pricing, which is going to cover prelims or preliminaries. So stay tuned for that. If you want to speak to me about anything about your tendering, I offer a number of free limited calls each month to talk specifically about how you can improve your tendering. There's a link on my LinkedIn profile to book one of these if you like. That's it for the week. Thank you, and I'll see you again soon.